One day I'm gonna have to change my name again because now, thanks to you guys, I'm in the league, like being seen and talked to by more people. I'm starting to be referenced and called MLS streams.
Yep.
And I'm just really, really confused, but it's okay.
Isn't that like a debilitating?
Yes, thank you, thank you.
What is that again?
Major League Soccer?
Man.
Oh, yeah, Major League Soccer also, but it's a debilitating disease. Like
It's Lou Gehrig's disease.
MLS's.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm just like, no, no.
Listener.
Hmm?
We have a listener with that.
I wasn't being dismissive of it.
I know.
Do you want to fight me on
Ooh, I
stream?
got a new follow 9 minutes ago. Storm Rage. Appreciate it,
He's
Storm
like,
Rage.
and we're live.
Just cuts live as you like just beating
Cold-
the crap out of me
cold
on the
coffee.
table.
How do you make people moderators? I want to mod some people.
I don't know.
Oh,
Yeah,
wait, the moderator.
And we're live right now, right?
Yeah. What's up, Storm Rage? Storm Rage is in chat.
you have to find the most like overbearing, pushy people, and then that's who you make your moderators.
Oh.
I don't know if that's true. I don't stream.
Truth to that.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that checks out.
What would you guys say the class identity is for Priest? I didn't fill that in.
Health gain?
Is that a?
A word I can't say.
Oh, I kind of see where you're going. Like getting
Grindy.
value off of your heals.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd say grindy.
Card draw?
Is that a class identity though? Grindy.
Greedy.
Prolonging,
Greedy.
prolonging the
No, I'm just
game.
kidding. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Spiteful Priest. I love that deck. So greedy.
Answers for everything.
Seriously.
Chris just puts grinder.
Grinder.
I'm allowed to. I don't know
Oh
why.
my god.
When I think about
Awesome.
when
Wow.
I think grindy kind of sums it up though, doesn't? I mean, like you have to really beat a priest.
If grinding is being a pain in the ass, then yes.
Not quite what was planned.
No, but if you
It's not that I'm gonna smack
but if you get on grindy, you might experience pain in the ass.
I think life is prolonging their life, extending their life in certain ways.
Oh, this is great.
I don't know.
This is the stuff that never makes the cut on the show, Mike.
It's kind of weird. Like
That's
for
why
the-
it's 20-minute episodes. Dang.
I would. That's why it's weird to me with the quest for priest how it's like death rattle minions.
like it's like the opposite of what it.
Yeah, I never like associated that with just priest, so it was always kind of weird to me.
That's true. It's almost like control warrior.
Or hunter.
Like
Hunter's-
literally any class but priest. Okay, not any, but whatever.
You know what the class identity is? It is healing, but it's also high health minions. Like I don't, with the exception of like maybe a loot hoarder or some shit. It's like everything has a big ass.
Yeah.
Whether it's a Twilight Drake, an Injured Blade Master, even if it's just like a plated beetle, that's like a 2/3. Like the
Yeah.
priest doesn't usually mess around with
Even the cleric on turn 1 is like a 1/3 is
Yep.
kind of hard to deal with
Yeah.
that early.
big booty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't. Priest doesn't really have a lot of board removal anymore either.
They still have
Dustbreaker,
Duskbreaker, Pyromancer, Primordial Drake,
Psychic Scream.
Psychic
Scream.
Yeah,
I guess.
Spirit Lash, and
I guess kind of-
himself.
Okay, so I'm wrong.
you're way wrong.
God.
Sorry.
What I was getting
They
at was more.
lost Dragonfire and
Well, kind of what I'm getting at is it's like they have a hard time dealing. They have a hard time dealing with 4 attack minions,
Yep.
and I don't know if that's necessarily a class identity.
we should definitely mention it at some point. I just don't know
feel like
where.
it's the only thing I have against a priest.
Is
Is the
fours.
knowledge that they are weak against my
Like,
fours.
I stay right here in the middle.
Just the knowledge.
Yeah.
So play Quest Rogue,
Yeah.
Counter.
be part of the problem.
And I also didn't fill in the quest part of it. I didn't really see any kill on sites looking at quest lists.
You have enough room? Should I scoot over?
I'm good.
The strategy playing with is much like
You could
strategy
scoot to the
playing
right a little
against.
bit if you feel like you're too close. There is room.
Okay.
So
She said she's good. So.
Yeah, just
Storm Rage
mention it.
says, a big ass, you say?
Yeah.
so is everyone feeling
Alright.
ready?
Priest likes big butts and they cannot lie.
I think we're ready. Mike, you ready?
I'm ready, guys.
I already said everything.
Oh, you're done with the episode?
Yeah.
Job's done.
This is Ziggy.
We didn't even hit 10 minutes. All right, so
episode's over. Get your quotes in.
I'm gonna start us at 9.
You like made it reverberate and like you pointed it down towards the
You
mic.
put your throat
I
into
noticed
it.
that after it happened. But, what can I do about it now?
So we'll go at 9, which will put us at 39 minutes on the call, and I'll count us in. Mike, you've done this before.
Yeah, he's like an old pro.
Old pro.
I have.
Brian, huge buzz.
You've been on the show before, haven't you?
Yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. I was sad last time because you cut in. You're like, all right, this is 1600dust.com. If you guys, I was like, no, the episode's over. No, I was like, wait, but I couldn't cut you off. You're the host, so I shut up and I cried.
That's right.
Funny thing was is that he didn't say he was sad because Ziggy wasn't on. He went straight
Oh
to
yeah,
like
Ziggy wasn't there.
say
Yeah.
enough. That's why I was sad.
There's so many reasons.
Good save.
It's too soon.
We're all drinking carbonated water.
Yeah, I can't wait for the belches.
10,
Here we go.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. This is 1600 Dust. My name is Chris, and with me we've got Spivey.
What up?
We've got Matt.
Salutations, Moats.
We've got Ziggy.
Hi, guys.
And we've got special guest Mike.
What's up, everybody? How we doing?
So chill about it when it finally happens.
I love it.
He's one of
Yeah.
my favorite guests we've had.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
got the voice too.
Yeah.
Thanks for having him on.
The golden
when I wasn't
voice,
here.
if you will.
I get that a lot. It's funny. I'll take it. I'm not gonna shoot it down anymore. I'm gonna own it. After our hero and savior Ben Brode stepped down, I'll own it. If I have a voice, I'll use it. It might not be as big and boasty, but I'll work on it. I'll do my push-ups.
Yes.
So
Okay.
since you guys got to have Mike last time and I wasn't there, that just means you guys are going to be quiet the whole time and Mike and I are going to talk, right?
Do your thing.
Okay,
All right.
great.
Okay.
What class are we talking about?
This is Fill Your Role, Week 5.
Week 5, so-
2018.
And we are discussing the priest.
It's 50% bigger.
Don't slam the table.
I'm sorry, I got excited.
Slamming the hero power.
Edit.
Everything you guys do makes my job harder.
Sorry.
So yeah, we brought Mike on to talk about priest, and 50% longer, 75% more to edit,
Yep.
normal jokes. So let's just dive right into it. Hey, Mike, what is the hero power with the priest?
The hero power, starting hero power is lesser heal. Will heal your hero, any minion, any opposing minion, or opposing hero for 2 health. So if it's, turn 2, you got nothing to do, you heal the opposing hero, and then you use an emote.
Usually the light shall burn you, and then if that happens to you, the proper response is thank you.
My
Thank
favorite's
you.
Taronda, and she just says blessings to you.
Blessings to you. I love her so much. That was the best.
Yep.
Thank you, Blizzard. That's my favorite hero.
Like, it's good because it makes your skin crawl just a little bit, and you're like, thanks.
You just don't like Anduin.
Ziggy doesn't like the
You're talking about
priest hero
Toronto,
class.
She doesn't like it, yeah.
Like,
So this is gonna be a salty episode for her.
Yeah, it really is.
I hate Anduin. Okay, I got it out of my system.
All right, so we got the first one out of the way. What other hero powers are we looking at here, Mike?
So the second hero power, the priest can upgrade its standard hero power into heal, which is for 4 health. So instead of 2, you can heal for 4, which is obviously much better. Can save you from some dire situations. I've rode 1 health for a couple of turns, and that 4 upgraded hero power has kept me away from dying. I'm
Yeah,
sure you
not
guys
good.
have been there before.
yeah, it can also become a win condition with like something like Akanai Soul Priest that makes it so your healing becomes damage. So now you're just plinking for 4.
Yeah,
Every time.
that feels good too. Play the Akanai, you get to flip it from healing yourself to now finishing them off. I love switching gears like that in Priest. It's fun. Siggy shaking her head no.
Well, just don't forget that you did it. I mean, it's the important thing.
Wait, what?
And then lastly, we've got the Death Knight hero power.
Yeah, Void Form.
Yeah, Void Form will deal 2 damage, and after you play a card, the hero power itself will refresh. So therefore, you can use it again on any target that you would like. Of course, against the opponent's face.
Well, of course, yes. So
It's already an annoying hero power. Let's just do it over and over again.
well,
Why
at least
not?
it doesn't cost 0 anymore.
Oh, those are golden days. Oh, I loved it. I already had Golden Priest by that time, but I easily played like 300 more games of Priest in that time period.
I really should have done it. I
Awesome.
have my golden Anduin and my golden Shadow Reaper Anduin.
You have a golden Death Knight hero?
I'm still waiting for my actual golden priest.
Okay.
Golden Shadow Reaper, so cool.
So we had a little bit of a discussion before the show actually started about the class identity of Priest, and kind of took a little bit to wrap our heads around what exactly the identity would be. And I think the first one that we kind of settled on was grindy, which everyone's kind of looking at me because it was my contribution to the thing.
Yeah.
We're sticking with that. Huh?
Right. I was trying to think of what it's like to play against a priest or even to play as a priest. And with the exception of the occasional quick win, sometimes with Spiteful, it seems like you're in it for the long haul. And either as the priest or playing against the priest, you are kind of going to have to work to beat them. And that's where I felt grindy came into play.
I think that you kind of take for granted that your minions deal kind of semi-permanent damage to other minions. So if a Twilight Drake is in your way against a Warlock or something, you can whittle it down with a couple 2 power minions and then smack into it with another 3 or 4 power minion. But with a priest, if the priest chooses to use their hero power in that turn to heal their Twilight Drake up again, I think that really screws a lot of stuff up, because it doesn't let you, okay, I'm going to lose this minion anyway, so I should send it into the minion on my opponent's side of the board.
Mm-hmm.
It's now, if you do that, you just lose it, so you have to send it to the face, and if you don't do any damage to the minion, well, the priest just heals its face anyway. So I definitely get what you're going with.
Or they heal your taunt. They heal their taunt minion,
Yep.
and you lose out in both ways.
That heal does a lot. I mean, you can't overheal like a warrior's armor up, but the heal being able to target minions goes a long, long way.
It does.
It makes sense. It's appropriate to what you actually have to do. That's what it feels like to play against a priest, which is why it's like frustrating. I think it feels like you have to give 150% effort.
So
Yep.
where Ziggy feels that frustration and pain, that's where I thrive, and that's where I love this class. I'm the total opposite there. Sorry, Zig.
Yeah, I was just going to say, those of us that wield it thrive.
In other card games, where there are creatures, so with Priest, the hero power in Hearthstone, I love it because it's a hero power. It costs 2 mana every time. With other card games, there's kind of similar things where you can increase a minion's health total or attack total, but I've always found in other games like an enchantment, there are cards where that can just get like wiped away. But with Hearthstone, like you just if I put that Twilight Drake down, turn 4, they put something out, they trade into it, it dies. I can heal the Drake back, and it creates that feeling of like, well, why did I just destroy that minion? It's like a waste of time. And like you said, the class identity feels like grindy. Like I feel like that's my favorite play style, is like grind it down until like there's no point and I win.
You also like big butts.
And I cannot lie.
I do like big butts.
I mean,
You should consider playing the priest class.
Oh. Would you say that's a class identity?
I would think so. Anduin's huge booty.
Pros at segues.
It was the world's most fake segue.
Until one of us points it out, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, another kind of class identity that we agreed on was class ass identity.
We're adults.
Class identity, high health totals.
Stuff that's making
Yes.
the show, by the way. This is the content that's actually going to make it onto the air.
Yeah, this is real showtime. But yeah, high health totals for your minions to kind of make that previous identity. It's hard enough to kill high health minions. It's even harder when the priest keeps healing them up
For 2 mana.
for 2 mana.
Whether it be 2 health or if you get to upgrade the hero power for 4 health. That one's killer. If you can have a minion on the board, let's say with I prefer 4/5 attack, and it's got some kind of decent health, and you can use that to trade and like fend off, and you don't have to keep putting cards out, and they have to like keep playing stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I love that feeling.
That's card advantage. Yep.
love
If
it.
you can make your cards go longer, if you can remove 2 of their minions with 1 minion of your own just because you used your hero power on it to heal it,
Yeah.
you just gain 2 for 1.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes your opponent can get so focused on trying to find a way to get rid of that minion that they don't realize that that minion is still hitting them for 3 or 4 damage a turn.
Yeah, and admittedly, when you guys had allowed me to do this class, my strength was kind of playing grindy and forcing the opponent to kind of dump their hand out and then board wipes. But ever since this reset with the new meta, I'm starting to get better at using, 1 to 2 or 3 minions because of mind control tech to use for trade-offs and heal those in exchange of all the board wipes gone. I know they're in Wild, but to be honest, I haven't played Wild since the new set came out. I played a couple games of Called Arms, but that was just to get the last laughs.
Yeah, and you trying to avoid playing 4 minions because of MC tech.
Yeah, mind control.
That's also super important that your opponent plays 4 attack minions because Priest main kill spells Shadow Word Death and Shadow Word Pain. The death goes to 5 or above, and the pain goes for 3 or under. So 4 attack is pretty lethal for Priest.
Yeah, it is.
I just wanted to add that while you're thinking about trading minions or doing any sort of AoE or spell damage to kill down a minion, you have to take into consideration the amount of healing that a priest can do. So it may not be worth it to try to trade or to try to burn your removal if it's not going to completely get rid of that minion. Because if it gets down to 1, it's still on the board. The priest is going to heal it next turn, so it's not worth it. And especially if they have the Northshire Cleric already on the board, you're just giving them card draw.
Yep.
I make that mistake all the time. It's like I haven't been playing this game
God.
for years. I still do it.
Yep. That's actually a good segue, speaking of segues, into starting to discuss the archetypes.
Yeah, let's dive right in.
Yeah, so
Let's do it.
as always, kind of the ones that you expect to see the most, and then kind of in dwindling quality, both in seeing them on the ladder and viability. So with that in mind, the first one that we have up is Quest Priest.
Yeah, I think Quest is on the top of the heap as far as Priest goes right now, since the nerfs had happened. I mean, that may fluctuate by the time this episode goes live, but Quest Priest is really unique because the way you can identify you're facing it is obviously a quest comes down to turn 1.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Awaken the Makers.
Shink.
And what a Quest Priest is looking to do, and we'll get more in depth onto this, is that Awaken the Makers, I believe, has 7. You play 7 Death Rattle minions.
7.
And that gives you Amara, which sets your life total to 40, and she's an 8/8 taunt for 5. So.
Crazy.
Of course, she's a taunt.
Yep.
Of course, she's a taunt.
Yep, and she's huge. And going back up, I mean, we talked about this off air, but, Reno Jackson's not in Standard anymore, but having Amara is a big deal, right, Mike?
Yes. Like I was saying, I don't have the quest myself, but what I have noticed is powerful when I do get this quest and play this list. I'm going to go into grind mode, make them hate themselves, get that quest off, play Amara, but only when I have Zola in my hand, so that when I play Amara, I increase my health total to 40, which is the effect, and as they whittle the health down, slap down a second Amara. So here's another 40 on top of that other 40 on top of 30.
So dirty.
How? Oh, it's a good thing I like you.
He's probably forcing his opponent with that strategy to have to do like 120, 130 damage, depending on the amount of times he heals himself outside of Amara.
How do you feel like a decent human being playing like that?
Well, you see, when I wake up in the morning, no, I'm just kidding.
Now, the thing that's interesting to me about Quest Priest is we just spent a lot of time talking about how Priest likes to heal its minions and how the minions have a lot of health. And the deck that's played most on the ladder right now kind of bucks that trend a little bit, especially on the early turns. So this deck is interesting because in some ways it feels almost un-Priest-like.
Quest is weird. It gets to just play these Death Rattle minions for value, whether it's drawing a card or gaining armor or gaining life or whatever the case might be, and a lot of them have taunt. So you kind of get to play Quest Priest and just wait for your opponent to react.
This is honestly one of the few decks where it's not necessarily wrong to throw a Blood Mage Thelanos down on 2.
Nope.
Normally that's reserved for something that's going to bump spell power, but here you are going for death rattles.
That one you do want Spirit Lash with, probably. But yeah, otherwise, yeah.
Priest has access to a few death rattle minions that, as an opponent, makes you feel bad for having to remove it. Like, I don't know. They have like the card draws or like the steal from your opponent's class and all these things. They get so much advantage from these
the
death
Oracle.
rattles. Yeah, the Oracle.
Yeah, it's like, okay, I got you. You want to kill my Oracle? I'll get a card from your deck. Are you going to
Yeah.
kill the Rotten Apple Bomb? I'm going to get 4 more health. I get what you're saying, yeah. Twilight's
Everything you
Call,
do-
summon 2 more. Loot Hoarder and a Plated Beetle. I get where you're going, Matt.
Yeah.
Smug. It's the smugness. That's
Yeah.
why I don't like this class. 'Cause it sits
Well,
there and it's just like,
I am
okay,
smiling, you're right.
That's fine.
So, Little Miss Murder, would you say that there are any kill on sight cards in Quest Priest?
Um,
This was a hard one. I couldn't answer it.
I don't know because I feel like if you're targeting anything specifically, you might actually be screwing yourself.
You're benefiting the quest.
Yeah.
Like, you almost just need to go with your
you
own
just gotta
plan.
go. You
Mhm.
really gotta
And-
focus on your plan and work on getting that health total down before they can get to Amara.
Yep. And I just wanted to point out before we go on that, one of the kill on sight cards for a lot of other priest archetypes is Northshire Cleric.
Number
And
1.
This one is not in Quest Mate or a Quest Priest. So if Northshire Cleric were in here, it would be kill on sight, priority numero uno.
But it's
Before
not. Yeah.
Before we switch from Quest to the next one, one thing I did notice looking at this list, I haven't played or ever owned this card, Archbishop Benedictus. So that
Yeah.
on top of the Amara plus the Zola plus your deck and my deck. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
Yep, it goes on for days.
hmm
So we kind of touched on it. Oh, did I?
Well, I was just gonna mention it's kind of an overarching theme, and that is that the quests are very non-interactive decks to play against,
Yep.
and this one takes that plus the fact that everything it seems like you do to the priest is still taking you one step back. They're drawing a card. They're getting armor. They're drawing another card. They're getting spell damage. Everything that they do, everything that you try to do proactive in some way benefits them as well, and it can be very frustrating.
Yeah.
So,
Adding insult to injury.
mhm.
It seems like even if you try to ignore their death rattles if they don't have taunt, and you try to push damage through to the face, all of a sudden you find yourself in a position where they've got lethal, and they can now play Shadow Raper Anduin and turn the tables on you, and they don't even need Amara.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So it's a really interesting deck. We kind of already touched on it with the strategy playing with. You almost get to just play whatever you want on curve and gain value from its death rattle. The worst thing that can probably happen to you while you're piloting the deck is a silence on a really key death rattle, and even then, that just kind of slows you down. It doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
Got the Alex Straza and Anduin, so you can set your opponent to 15 life. You can use it defensively if you're really low by the time you're at 9, and you can just machine gun him down with that Shadow Reaper Anduin hero power. You guys have any strategies playing against the list, other than rushing him down as fast as you can
Just
before
beat him
Amara?
before the quest happens.
Yep.
You really just got to focus and not try not to let yourself get distracted by whatever they're throwing down. It's not automatically like, oh, I got to clear this off the board or anything. Like, you really got to be thinking about how your deck works to take their life total down.
Don't fuel their death rattles.
Yeah, I think that just like I discussed a couple minutes ago, they aren't playing you; they are solitarying themselves, and you just need to beat them. So
Yeah. Exactly what Ziggy said. I did actually play against this deck one time because I was playing Spiteful Priest, and I played against this, queued into it, not recognizing what it was or what it could do, and I was like, "Oh, another priest player. You're not gonna out-priest me." But then 36 turns later, and I'm just kidding. But then in the end, in the end, he out-priested me because this is what happened. Played, the quest, got Amara, played Zola, played the Archbishop, got my deck, and then I remember the deck, I hovered over it, and it said like 48 cards.
Yep.
And I was just like, bottom right concede, buddy, bye. Like, I'm not waiting for that. I'm patient, but I'm not waiting for that. No.
So I'm not the only one who just automatically feels behind the second they play the quest, right? Because that's just how that deck makes me feel.
I felt buried because he played the Archbishop, so I was like, I'm never gonna get through this. Like, I was like, bye. I can't win.
Bye. Oh god.
His flight tells him goodbye.
Well, I mean, so that's the deck that's kind of on top for the moment, I think. But thank goodness it's not the only one.
Nope. We also have, next up on the list is Control Priest. So, Mike, how can we tell that we're facing a Control Priest?
So, for Control Priest, both Control and Spiteful run Northshire Cleric, but Control would typically not have a minion to play turn 2 or 3 unless it's an acidic Swamp Ooze or a Pyromancer, or a coined Dustbreaker if you're playing enough early pressure. Key cards on that list would be Shadow Reaper Anduin and Alexstrasza. And a kill on sight card for this deck will be Northshire Cleric. You do not want to let that card live. Trade into something smaller, hero power, card advantage, game over. Bye. Yeah.
Now, I can do an entire episode on Northshire Cleric by itself. I mean, thank God our episodes are only 20 minutes long.
Normally.
But with Northshire Cleric, there have been times where the priest puts down Northshire Cleric on turn 1, and like you said, it's a kill on sight. Now, I may have a 1-drop, and I will not play it because the priest, if it's got 1 toughness or 1 health, not only do they remove my minion, so I'm down a card, but now they're getting to heal it for free when if I had done nothing on that turn, all they would have done is healed me and then emoted. So sometimes it is appropriate to not play something into that Northshire Cleric if they have initiative.
Yes, and I think that will help a lot of beginning players, intermediate, and obviously the advanced players know that. But knowing that, that you can do nothing, less is more in that situation, because why would you want to give them the opportunity to draw a card extra? I've played as priest a bunch and played a Northshire, got it killed, can't draw cards, it hurts, I lose. Played a Northshire, they know that if they play a minion, I'm going to kill it and draw a card. So like you said, Spidey, what they've done is just let it sit there and then have to find other ways to draw cards, and they play around it.
And it's interesting that you bring up the newer players too, because I came from other collectible card games background, and in these other games, if you had like a lightning bolt in your hand that was 1 mana, deal 3 damage, you wouldn't just point it at your opponent's face because it doesn't really do anything until they're dead, and you may not necessarily use it on one of their early minions because it may not matter at that point in time. So you kind of hold it for value. And when I first started playing Hearthstone, back in beta, a lot of times with the Northshire Cleric, I found myself holding it until I could play it and heal a minion. And it wasn't until I had played a lot of Hearthstone until I realized, you know what? A turn 1 Northshire Cleric, if you're the priest, is outstanding.
It's so impressive.
Yeah, it is. There is no better play. Like, there is no reason to hold a Northshire Cleric. Now, playing a second Northshire Cleric while you've got one on the board is probably a little iffy. And sometimes you don't even want to play Northshire Clerics if you're facing a priest, no matter what archetype you are or what archetype they are, because they may just try to use it to mill you.
Never go full Northshire.
Never go full Northshire. That is exactly right.
The point I wanted to make is the thing that the card that Northshire Cleric reminds me of the most is Mana Worm, in that they do very different things, but it's a 1-drop that can just gain insane value the longer that it's on the board. And it's very easy when you're facing anyone and you keep your Firefly and your opponent plays a priest and you just almost auto throw down a Firefly. But the Northshire Cleric's not going to kill your Firefly because they don't want it to. They just want to get hurt and heal. But then your Firefly is also not going to kill the Northshire Cleric. And it just can generate such insane value over so many turns that it's better to just take 1 to the face a couple of turns until you can handle it properly.
I don't even think Priest has other card draw unless you count like Acolyte of Pain. So if you deny the Priest their Northshire Cleric card draw, you're sitting in a good spot.
Most definitely.
Speaking of the Control Priest, this list is near and dear to my heart as well. The strategy that you're really playing for when you're playing as Control Priest is you want the long game. You're facing down, you've correctly identified that the deck you're playing against is an aggro deck, it's hyper aggro, maybe it's Odd Hunter or Odd Paladin, and you're looking to just take this game into turn 10, 11, 12. You don't want to die. So you try to keep the board clear when the pressure is getting too great. I think that I don't like to have more than 5 power or so on the other side of the board over there. If we're up to like 9, 10, I'm going to try to wipe it as hard as I can. And
don't wipe too hard.
Don't wipe too hard. In the way this deck wins is it has Alexstrasza to set you to 15, and it uses Shadow Reaper Anduin's hero power to just kind of machine gun you, in addition to Mind Blasts. So not only does the deck have 2 Mind Blasts, but if you didn't force them to use their Shadow Visions to dig for a Psychic Scream or something else along those lines, they've dug for more Mind Blasts. So you might be looking at 4 Mind Blasts, and that's a lot of pressure.
They don't even need the Anduin hero power to Alexstrasza you, and then the next turn hit you with 4 Mind Blasts for lethal, if it comes to it.
Wouldn't even get the 4th off.
So what you're saying is that when playing against this deck, once again, I just need to kill them as fast as possible.
Yep.
Yes.
Great,
Quick and fast.
You'll see here on the strategy playing against, I put rush them and crush them.
Rush them and crush them. Oh, yeah.
And the problem, again, is you have to be mindful of Dustbreaker.
Yep.
Because all of a sudden, you've got nothing on the board and you're facing down a control deck that's got answers and all the time in the world.
And we kind of touched on this with Mage and the secrets a couple weeks ago, but you have to fight through these AoE spells. You can't just know that your opponent, as the control priest, has Wild Pyromancer in hand and has a couple of 1-drop spells that they can use to deal 2 damage, or a Duskbreaker for 3, or a Drake for 2, or whatever it might be. You have to apply enough pressure, but you still need to leave yourself in a good position to refuel your board and continue to apply pressure after the AoE is used. You have to make them use it, or if you can balance it enough to where they just kind of hold it in their hand, waiting for ultimate value, and just die with it in their hand, that's good too. But that's less likely.
Yeah,
this is the first time I feel like we're going to scare people away from playing the game.
Yeah, Priest is impressive.
Can we hurry up and talk about the only priest deck that I like?
We're right there.
To follow up Spivey's last point there, as a priest player who plays a lot, I watch too many people who will kind of walk that line, Spivey, but then not like force me or to check to see if I can clear that board, which gives me more time to draw what I need. So when they actually wake up and realize they should flip the switch, it's too late because I have it in my hand. So great advice. Great advice.
You have to kind of like, if you've got an extra set of minions in your hand, and you can add 1 more because maybe last turn it was turn 4 and they didn't Duskbreaker. You know what? The next turn, why don't you go ahead and put out that other 2-powered dude and see if that's either enough to tip the scales or maybe it's enough to test the waters. If the priest is at 24 and you are now swinging for 12 instead of 10, they should be looking to clear your board. And if they don't respond with the board clear you're anticipating, they don't have it.
Yeah, you can bait them, certainly.
I mean, unless it's like a reverse Jabate, and they've already got it, and they're just waiting for more, but I doubt it.
To dissipate a lot of people's anger. The double Jabate. You know what I think would help to like dissipate a lot of people's anger when they're playing against it? I forget which Know Your Role it was, but they said, or it was a Spivey talking somewhere. You said if you just accept what's going to happen, accept that some rolls can happen, you'll be okay. But playing against Priest, if you just play aggressive and you have to, and you force them to have these cards, either they have it or they don't. Just know that that's how it is and just keep going. At least versus the Priest class, because I've held a Dustbreaker so many times, and he was just green. I have no dragon in my hand. I can't clear it, but they're not making me have it. You know what I'm saying? So I'll leave it there. Just force the Priest to have it.
Sounded really smart. I'll go ahead and claim credit for that.
Yeah. Tell you.
Well, I don't want to be spiteful about it or anything, but
nice.
Ooh.
This is Ziggy's wheelhouse. Ziggy, how do we tell that we're facing a?
Yeah, I like this deck.
Oh, okay, you too. How do we tell that we're facing a Spiteful Priest?
Well, first of all, Spiteful is going to be running Northfair Cleric, but you might not see it right away. For me, I'm trying to get to Fairy Dragon. I'm trying to get to Shadow Ascendant to buff something else. Because Shadow Ascendant is so good.
Oh man, that card's nuts.
Oh, it's amazing.
There's something so satisfying about being able to play Shadow Ascendant when you've already got something that it's going to buff, because you just sit there and kind of cackle. So, as much as I say I hate Priest and whatever. I actually do totally get it. I've played a ton of Priest, and I totally get the satisfaction
Ha!
next spring.
I knew it! I knew it! I'm just kidding.
Because I'm all about the Spiteful deck. Like, it's so fun. And obviously you're trying to get to, you're trying to get to Spiteful Summoner, so you can just start bringing huge things onto the board.
Tyrantus?
Oh my god.
Oh,
Yes.
yeah.
You're going to see the likes of Stonehill Defender and Tar Creeper. The Cleric, obviously. But what I want to know from the Spiteful players, does anybody keep Spiteful? Like, if they get it on their first draw, or do they mulligan it away?
Am I playing against what I am certain that it's a control matchup?
Good.
If there's any chance that there's an aggro matchup in front of me, it's going away.
Bye.
Sure.
Even before the nerf.
I was going to say, post-nerf, I don't think I would. I've done it occasionally,
7's a lot.
but 7 is just too much, I think.
Yeah, it would be one thing if I was on the coin and Spiteful was back at 6. That was different. And there are times where the very first time I ever played Spiteful Priest, I mulliganed into 2 mind controls and a free from Amber, and I was like, this deck sucks. But
Oh, I am the king of Spiteful Priest when it comes to having 3 spells in your hand before turn 4. Yeah, I played too many games where I have the 2 ambers and a mind control, and I'm just like, please don't get the last one. Please don't get the last one. I have the deck tracker open and it highlights the Spiteful in turn 7. I'm like, yes. I'm like, oh my goodness. Like, woo.
here's the thing to keep in mind with Spiteful Priest is, yes, the Spiteful combo is very powerful and it's your ultimate goal. But I've won plenty of games not ever drawing Spiteful Summoner because Free from Amber can get ridiculous cards.
Even without that, the curve that Spiteful does is very strong.
And this is a tempo deck.
Yes.
You can play Shadow Ascendant on turn 2 and feel pretty confident about
Gotta
it.
kill that thing.
Because your opponent will either use up some important piece of removal to deal with it, or you'll play something on turn 3 that's going to get buffed from it. It's probably one of my favorite priest archetypes to play, and it is still very powerful. So.
Yeah, I think it solidly remains at least tier 2 after the changes.
Well, like, Spiteful's 7 mana now, but still at 6 you can play Cabal Shadow Priest, and I feel like a lot of people still don't expect that card sometimes. Sometimes I feel like it's almost easy pickings. Like, they put stuff out there, and I'm like, oh, this is 2 or less attack. Thank you.
Yeah.
The last thing I want to say about Spiteful is a lot of times in the later game it's really board dependent. You're seeing the Scalebanes, you're seeing the Bone Mares. If you're leaving their board with minions, and it is a tough job to clear their board of minions because their minions are probably better than yours, you expect to see those minions getting buffed and getting taunt or whatever the case might be. This one's not running Fungal Mancer, but you know, that's always an option too. So,
yeah.
I have a list with Twilight Acolyte. I have Amani Berserker, and then I have Anduin Lich King. I'm not playing Bone Mare, but like you said before, I like to play that curve. A lot of games I have one where I haven't seen Spiteful whatsoever. I just play Free from Amber, and I'll get some gigantic minions from that.
Yep.
So it's cool to win with this deck different ways, whether it's Scale Worm, clearing a board or a trade, or a Dustbreaker, Void Ripper. It's pretty cool.
Now, also kind of floating out there, they're not super meta viable right now, but you can run into them from time to time, is good old Combo Priest, which is Inner Fire,
Divine Spirit,
make a big dude, and all of a sudden your opponent's dead turn 4, and they're like, what the heck happened?
Resurrect Priest is kind of floating around too, but honestly, between those two, there's not much of a showing. I don't think they're meta viable, and I don't think that any of you guys would recommend them as a new player's Priest deck, right?
Right, so let's just go around the table then. We'll start with you, Spivey. What deck would you recommend for a new player?
I think I have to hands down say Spiteful, because you get to just play on curve. You don't have to worry about how intricate and complex Control and Quest look, even though they're not, and you can work your way into those other archetypes.
Ziggy?
I would say for new players and or for veteran players who are actually going to play this sticking class, just play Spiteful. It's the most fun.
Matthew?
Yeah, I'm going with Spiteful. I think, just looking at the list, Spiteful is decently low entry too.
Yeah, I was wondering that. It's just basically some epics, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good call.
Mike, what about you?
I'm not going to break the chain here. I'm going to vote for a Spiteful Priest because at the bare basics, a new player can... What's the joke? You can literally just click what's green and drag it on the appropriate turn for the mana cost. I hear
There's gotta be a ride
I hear
somewhere.
Wicked Good say that a lot on UHL. So yeah, just click what's green and drop it. There we go.
Yeah, and I'm gonna echo everyone else because Easy Big Easy Priest is no longer viable. But I think that
Call it that.
Spiteful is a great mix of being able to play cards on curve, good tempo, and also you get to experience kind of the craziness that's inherent in Hearthstone from time to time.
That's true.
So kind of the best
Also,
of everything.
if you don't draw the Spiteful and you get mind control, you can like take that for a win. Like a big taunt in your way, you got some stuff on the board. Thank you, checkmate.
Yeah, get that tier in.
Mm-hmm.
If it's green, put it on the screen.
Ah, there we go. I like it.
Ooh.
There you go.
I like pulling the
Cha-ching.
12-12, like, it has, like, you can't be the target of
Yeah,
spells.
Tyrantus.
Yes,
Mhm.
that's the best.
Yep, that guy's good.
Naked Tyrantus too.
Wait, what?
Deathwing, Deathlord.
Oh,
He's a naked Tyrantus. You can target him.
It's like, what?
I get it. I
Come
was
on,
like,
I heard it on UHO. Someone said it, so I was trying to be cool. Somebody
You are
said
cool.
they said if you play Spiteful and you get Deathlord, then it's a naked Tyrantus because you can still target him, but he's a 12/12.
So it's almost worse.
Mike, you don't have to pretend or try to be cool. You are cool.
yeah.
Thank you.
no,
I appreciate it.
1600dust.com. You can go to dadlegend.com/shop and get a t-shirt. You can find us on Twitter at 1600dust, and I'm on Twitter as well at cmplumber.
I'm on Twitter at Spiver.
At Matuna,
I am on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube at Ziggy Sarah.
I'm on all those too at ML Streams.
Until next week, my name is Chris,
This is Spivey.
this is Matt.
I'm Ziggy.
Mike.
and this is 1600 Dust.
Job's done.
Doesn't Tyrantus just go like, "Roar"? I was going to do it, but
Not quite what was planned.
there you go.
Wow.
Dun, 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 dun. There's like
And that
some...
was not Anduin, that was just me saying, wow.
Blessings to you.
That's even better. Saying blessings to you in Anduin voice.
Amazing.
All clear.
Amazing.
All clear.
Good job.
Oh, was
good
that a
job.
beer? Nice.
No, that is carbonated water, my friend.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
I haven't had a drink in like 6 months.
All right, we're
wow.
done.
All right. That was cool.
Shower sparkling waters.
Mhm.
Shower sparkling water.
God, this is like the lap of luxury. Just pour Perrier and shampoo.
I've never done that. Now I want to.
Yeah.
Nerds.
Nerd.
Is it just because you couldn't pour it on your hair?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sorry, dude.
Hey, I save money on shampoo. Right?
Yeah, you do.
Oh man. Sick burn.
Well, so you just get the Dove for Men where it's like
That
shampoo,
Bruce guy, thank you for being in Twitch chat. I
body
appreciate
wash,
it. As I stumble and mumble.
toothpaste.
If I was losing my hair, I'd shave my head, and then couldn't I just use my loofah on my head?
Mhm.
Like it's just skin at that point, right?
You can
it's
lose-
just like
It's still skin now. There's just hair on it.
that doesn't compute.
I mean,
Wait,
do
what
you
about
do you like
loofahs?
do you use shampoo on your beard?
Yeah, a little bit.
All right.
That face he made, he's like, all right.
What about shampoo on your?
On the pubes?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
What
And
about
it-
loofah on your pubes?
Definitely. Gotta get in there. Get clean.
Do you use the same
Pubfa.
loofah on your pubes that you use on your head that you shaved?
Well, you go in order. You go
Oh, I
top
would.
down.
I would.
Top
yeah,
down.
If I shaved my head.
Like card design, top down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top down
Then
card
The
design.
next time you shower, there's definitely.
Hey, Spiver, Storm Rage is asking, do you not
Cute.
shampoo your beard?
Yeah. No, you do.
Okay.
No, Chris was
I
saying
don't
that.
have to worry about that. Now.
Like I put a little bit of shampoo.
It's hot out.
Gotta like.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotta keep this shit clean. Actually, I'm-
Poopfa might be the newest thing.
Someone
Poopfa.
told me a long time ago to
Pupa.
just use regular bar soap rather than shampoo.
You use bar soap on your beard, and then you use beard oil.
yeah. I've been meaning to
Yeah,
buy
definitely.
beard oil, but I don't grow my like your beard. I think is longer. No, mine might be as long as yours right now. But you
You're
were
all
for a
stroking
while.
your
You were
beards. I feel
you were
so
growing
lucky.
yours out longer than
Well,
mine.
I'll show you my driver's license.
Oh God, you were standing with it. I thought it was your pubes.
Yeah.
I was
Oh
like,
man,
yes,
I was like,
put that
shut
on
the
my-
stream down.
Oh,
Shut
yeah.
the stream down.
Yeah. No, I had it down to about
See,
here.
if I had it this long, I would definitely like put beard oil on there.
Which I did every day. The problem I had is
I
that
don't know if you want to cover up your info and show the camera.
Yeah,
But cover up all the info.
I did. So
That's
they can't see it
too
anyway.
far. You're gonna have to walk over
Well,
there.
this is gonna be difficult.
All right,
This
Storm
is-
Rage. Don't take his
Flip
info.
that. There you go. See that?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
you
you
can-
need beard oil for. Look at that. That's a
Yeah.
big beard. Oh,
That was 18 months without shaving. I don't grow a lot of hair, so
But I would use the same loofah on my dick that I used on my bald head.
yeah.
But then the next time you do it, you literally
Yeah,
have
but
to
then
God,
yeah, you have to.
remember what order you
Why don't you just rinse it though?
you gotta get
Wait.
it in
tell you.
In between the butt-
Nah,
the dingleberries out.
No.
The Jungle Bridge?
Yeah.
Jungle Bridge to Treasure Trail. Yeah.
Mike's like, why do I have these guys on my
Oh,
street?
this is great. No, I swear to you guys, if you didn't hit stop at your 20-minute mark and you kept recording, you probably have triple the downloads. This is fucking hilarious.
And we talked about stupid
Oh
shit
my
instead of
God.
just Hearthstone.
Did you just tell us
This
that
is
we're
great.
way they're not on the show?
Yeah.
It's whatever. Cause hey Ziggy, remember we did the fireside? Like we were saying, like after a certain point, once you meet people like yourselves, like the game is
rewinding.
whatever, but like conversations like this, it's fucking awesome. Like friendships and stuff.
When we look at the
Everything.
preview, it's in that wrong aspect ratio.
Oh.
So I know that when we go live, it seems
le
like
table.
All right.
Wait, what did I do wrong?
No, nothing.
Nothing,
It's not
you
you
did-
at all. I was.
Oh, okay.
I was just noticing how good it was on our end.
Do we gotta go and
I
get
was
the other
gonna
one
say,
going?
yeah,
Well,
we're
you
10
guys gotta go. Sorry.
minutes for poor Storm Rage here, so
All right, so I'll end my stream and I'll jump in there too.
cool.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thanks, dude.
Hey,
Well-
Storm Rage has Druid, right?
Yes.
All right, so everybody from my stream, we're heading over to Storm Rage's stream. Let's go. Know Your Role 2018 Druid.
We're
I
heading up to
hope
Storm Rage.
I hope there's Hadronox. That's my favorite.
You know there is.
You know there will be.
Oh, I know. I'm just saying it. Just trying to hype it up. Hype it up.
I'm like so close to crafting that card.
It's good.
All right. All right, guys. Thank you for checking out Know Your Role 2018 Priest with your boy Mike Lowe. Oh, pointing the wrong way. Oh, hold up. With 1600 Dust. We out of here. We're going to head over to Storm Rage's channel. See you there. Peace. Oh. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Reverse. Okay, I'm sorry, guys. Bruce Guy. What happened to the Obsidian statues? Did rotation kill that deck? To answer your question, rotation murdered that deck. It's gone. Alright, let's go over to Storm Rage's channel. Let's do it. We out of here.